rounds of action. We have a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judges at ringside, Steve Weisfeld and Barry Lindenman scored the bout 116 to 112. Judge Tim Cheatham sees it 117 to 111. All three in favor of the winner. And still, the undefeated unified WBC and IBF welterweight champion of the world, the Truth, Errol Spence Jr.
So 8 rounds to 4 for 2 of the judges, or 9 rounds to 3. So actually, they gave Danny Garcia more rounds than I thought. Took 4 rounds. 2 of the judges, anyway. Isn't that a bit surprising? What do you thought? 10-2, 9-3?
Pretty much.
I mean, yeah. Sean said he could find 4 rounds earlier on, and I was a little surprised here. 4 rounds. But no, that's what they had it. 9-3, 8-4. This one was wider, though. Again, from Danny Garcia's other losses, right? Those seemed close. This one didn't feel close, did it?
No.
Job tonight. Great champion.
Class act, training camp, and press conference and everything. Dad showed up more respect. I respect him.
Not sure what he said there. Show a little more respect to the champion? Not sure what he said. Well, we'll find out. We're going to interview Errol Spence, obviously, up there with his belts. And let's go to Jordan Plant right now. She's with Danny Garcia ringside. Jordan, go ahead.
Thanks, Brian. Danny, what went wrong tonight?
He was just a better man tonight. First of all, I want to thank God for giving me this opportunity, to come out the ring safe. I want to thank my dad, Angel Garcia, Al Heyman, Fox, Premier Boxing Champions, everybody. All the fans who came out tonight, thank you. He was just a better man tonight. No excuses. I fought a hard, tough fight. He had a pretty good jab, and I think that was the key to the fight, his jab.
Was there, besides his jab, was there anything that he did better than you expected?
I think he had a great jab. And that was the difference in the fight. And he was a little bit more busier than me.
And I know you're a counterpuncher. Well, we'll ignore those distractions over there. But I know you're a counterpuncher, but do you feel like if you would have been first more often, that could have been the difference in this fight?
Yeah, for sure. But he offsetted me with his jab a little bit. So it's all good.
Now, you are 0-3 against... You're 0-3 against challenging welterweight world champions. Where do you go from here?
I just got to sit back and rebuild, see what I got to do next. All 3 fights were good fights. I fought hard, and I'm proud.
All right. Is there anything you want to say to your fans? I know you were fighting for Philly.
Yeah, I want to say thank you for supporting me. Thank you for everything.
All right. We're looking forward to seeing you back in the ring. Great job. Brian, back to you.
Yeah, that cacophony, by the way, is Angel Garcia answering some of the fans that are giving him a hard time. I'll say this. Danny Garcia has been a proud champion. He's a classy champion. He's classy in defeat. Just admitted it. Angel has a hard time accepting it right now and doesn't want to hear it from the fans. And he doesn't need to get mixed up in all this. It looks like just a clear-cut win. High-level win by a high-level champion, a pound-for-pound star. Danny Garcia has nothing to be ashamed of. Gave it his best shot, and it wasn't good enough against one of the best fighters in the world.
Oh, he said. I think it was clear. He said he was the better man tonight, and that was without dispute. And
yeah.
It was a classy thing to say, and
yep.
He gave props to Errol Spence, and well, he should.
There we go. There's the punches landed. You see right there, 45-38, relatively close early. Not close, rounds 5 through 12. So there's the man with the belts getting examined right there by a ringside physician. Everything looking good. Big smiles. Let's go to Jordan Plant. Jordan, take it away.
Errol, welcome back. Describe this moment for you.
This moment's surreal, man. It's been a dream of mine, especially coming back on my accident, a 1.5 layoff, and I think I look pretty good. It's a little ring rust in there. I got a little tired, but I think I shook off the cobwebs, and I'll be ready to fight again in the summertime.
We're looking forward to that, but you said you wanted to prove to your fans that Errol Spence Jr. is back. When you were in the ring, was there a certain round that you thought to yourself, all right, I'm good?
I think our training camp, I felt good. I knew I was going to be good. That's why I said I'm back, and I told people I didn't want a tune-up fight. I want to fight a great champion like Danny Garcia, somebody whose name is known, and somebody that's going to give me a fight. And he definitely gave me a fight, and I came in and I proved myself that I am the best 147 fighter in the world.
And kudos to you for taking such a big fight, your first fight back. Is it safe to say that you did somewhat need an opponent like Danny Garcia to bring that out of you tonight?
Oh, definitely. Danny Garcia pushed me to the limit, especially in training camp. You know, I watched him train. I watched him train hard, and I've been watching him fight since I was an amateur. So I know what he brings to the table. He's a great champion, and I knew I had to be 100% ready, and that's why I chose him, and that's why we got this fight. And I fought him at home, and I'm glad that everybody came. I appreciate everybody for coming through. You know, be patient with me. I had to shake off a lot of cobwebs. This was a comeback fight for me, where I'll definitely be 120% come my next fight.
And you talk about you had to shake off some cobwebs. Were there any mistakes that you can maybe look back on now in the fight that you wish you didn't do?
Definitely. I mean, I'm human, you know. I made a couple mistakes, like, you know, I was playing around a little bit or putting my hands down or being lazy sometimes on my jab and things like that. So, you know, I'm going to practice on that. My coach got on me when I got back to the corner. He was like, yo, Danny Garcia is known for knocking people out when they're playing around, they dropping their hands and being lazy. So pick your hands back up and win this fight. And that's what I did. And
you've beaten Kell Brook now, Mikey Garcia, Sean Porter, and Danny Garcia. Who do you want next?
Oh, I'm gonna chill on my ranch. I just bought a new ranch. I got a couple of horses. I'm gonna get some more horses, get some chickens, some more cows, and I'm gonna chill with my kids and my family and enjoy my time. And you know, I got to decide when I'm gonna come back, and then you know, hopefully be in the summertime. But right now, I'm just gonna enjoy my family time. I had a long year and a half, and I need to rest a little bit.
All right, well, enjoy your rest time. Enjoy your Christmas with your family, and we'll look to see you in the summer. Congratulations, Errol Spence Jr., everybody. Brian, back to you.
And there's the champ. To the victor belongs the spoils. He walks off with the belt. So there's prime time. Deion Sanders, former Cowboy champ. That's the way to come back. So I'm letting him know you're still Errol Spence, the champ. We love you, brother. That's the way to put it on for the D. That is Dallas. And you see Errol gets to walk off. You know, he said, boy, I'll be back in the summertime. I'm like, how's March? Errol, how's March? What about March? February? I mean, wouldn't you love to see him in the ring more? That was back with Lennox Lewis here, Joe Goose and ringside. I mean, Lennox, your thoughts on the performance that you just saw?
Oh, Errol's back. I mean, you know, he came out, did what I expected him to do, and he you know, put the pressure on early. He won the early rounds, and he kept that jab going. I expected the jab to go like that. Yeah. I expected him to throw a lot of punches like that, and great performance.
Yeah, I mean, just if you're in his corner, if you're Derek James, you're looking at that. What beautiful work, right?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned Derek James. What a great job he did. You know, you got to give the trainer the props right there, because he stood behind Errol. He said he was going to be good. He said he was right, and he proved to everyone that he was right.
You had to bring him back the right way, because you needed to get real sparring, but you couldn't put him in too tough early.
Exactly.
They had to get him ready for a real fight.
Exactly. So, and I think Errol Spence looked better than ever, to tell you the truth. I think I think he's going to even look better in his next fight, because he got this one out of the way. A lot of detractors, and there's Derek right there. Great job. And I just think he's going to be better than ever, to tell you the truth.
I'm with you on that. That sounds right.
He beat a great guy tonight.
And we'll know more about Danny Garcia. Like, he'll have to regroup and think about what is ahead for him. Still a high-level fighter, but just not enough to beat the very, very top guys. But Errol Spence Jr., again, with Terrence Crawford in the stands, we can always hope for the best versus the best. Right now, we know Errol Spence is still at the top of his game and a pound-for-pound star. Let's go back upstairs to Kate Abdo and Sean Porter.
Appreciate you guys very much indeed. Thank you very much. Sean, how do you look at this one now? You have to look at Danny Garcia still as one of the best welterweights in the world, but Errol Spence Jr. is one of the best boxers, period, in the world.
I think maybe one thing we didn't talk to as it pertains to Danny Garcia is his heart and his will. And when he showed that tonight, I saw a game plan early on. The consistency of Errol Spence Jr. just broke away. It broke down his game plan, Danny Garcia's, and he broke away, and he just did what he always does and dominated. I had him winning 8 out of the 12 rounds. I gave Danny Garcia 4 of those rounds, but I thought that those were rounds that Errol Spence Jr. took off. You know what I mean? So Errol Spence, and even the rounds that I felt like he took off were close rounds that could have gone his way as well. So I had an 8-4. I thought Errol Spence Jr. looked amazing. Congratulations. And congratulations to his team, too, for them all to come back from something that they had to come back from. And, of course, Errol Spence Jr., you have to take your hat off to every single one of them who are around Errol Spence Jr.
Oh, absolutely. This was big. So Errol retains, of course, the WBC, the IBF title as well. Manny Pacquiao is the man with the WBA title.
Yeah,
he has tweeted this evening. Let's see what the Pac-Man had to say. Welcome back, he says. Errol Spence Jr., congratulations on your victory. He is back with that performance, Sean. I think, you know, we were talking before this fight about can Errol Spence Jr. be the fighter that he once was? Do we now need to talk about the fighter that he can become?
Absolutely. I agree with Joe Goosing. Joe says he needed to get this one out of the way. I agree. And he also said that he's going to be better than he was before. And I agree with that as well. When you go through the calamity that he went through and you come back from it, it only builds you up and makes you stronger.
It's hard to find a complete boxer in the sport, isn't it? How close does Errol Spence Jr. come?
I'm very humble to say that Errol Spence Jr. is a complete fighter. It's not about him becoming a complete fighter. Errol Spence Jr. is a complete fighter.
So obviously you fought him September 2019, didn't you?
Yeah,
I know
buddy.
that you I know that you said that you're the mandatory for that title.
Yeah.
You're expecting that fight. Are you expecting it as your next fight?
I'm expecting it as my next fight.
What if that's not to come until the summertime then?
Well, I mean, it's already been said. I'm the mandatory for the WBO. Amazing fight with Terrence Crawford, or the winner of this, Errol Spence Jr., who has the WBC and the IBF title.
Which do you prioritize?
I kind of prioritize Terrence Crawford, for the simple fact that you have not seen me in the ring with Terrence. You've seen what happened with Errol Spence Jr. It's about coming back, fixing some wrongs, and beating him. But I think with Terrence Crawford, whole new story, a whole bunch more conversation that has not been had yet, and that's why I favor that one. However, the way he looked tonight, you let me know when you're ready to go.
What about Danny Garcia? Because obviously he's now taken the losses to Errol, to you, to Keith. Where does his career go from here?
You know what? This is what I said on my podcast. I said it's not about him winning or losing this fight. Excuse me, it's not about him losing this fight. It's about how he loses this fight. If I see the same Danny Garcia that's waiting and not punching, and you waste the entire fight and then you want to fight strong at the end, I can't respect that. However, he didn't do that. He tried to punch it between Errol Spence Jr. I saw the game plan early on. He wanted to counter immediately, trying to catch Errol Spence Jr. He just wasn't able to slow down a little bit, and it wasn't there for him. But he gave a very valiant effort, and he looked very good in the fight. They were close rounds. A lot of rounds that I felt like Errol Spence controlled the fight, but they were close rounds as well. So, in saying that, he doesn't go all the way back to the back of the line. However, he is in a bit of a rebuilding stage.
Top 5 still?
Men атысқым келіп тұр мен деген. Өлмейміз қорықпа.